Welcome to Youth Corner. I'm Ibrahim Rahman. This is the friendly chat show for the youth, a place to talk about what you do, recognise your achievements, share your experiences and inspiring stories, and discuss the topics that are important to you. Now, introducing our next guest, he is a London-based filmmaker and he's currently working on a superhero comedy web series. And we've got the teaser trailer here for you to watch right now. Check this out. Exciting stuff. Now here with me at the Youth Corner today, it's Shuhel Ahmed. Welcome to the show, Shuhel.
It's good to be here. Thanks a lot for having me.
So how are you today?
I'm good. I'm quite excited to be on the show, actually.
Fantastic, great stuff. So, Classified Freaks, what is this series all about? We've just shown the teaser trailer there, and you don't give much away in that, do you?
No, I'm sort of one of those filmmakers that, I like to keep things close to my chest. Hopefully, when we do launch it, everything will unravel. Classified Freaks is a British superhero comedy web series that I'm planning to launch in the summer. Primarily shot in Tower Hamlets, made with no budget. It's a passion project of mine, and it's been under development for quite a long time. So
wow,
excited.
Fantastic. So why did you particularly want to focus on the superhero genre?
I think me personally, being a Bangladeshi Muslim, coming from Tower Hamlets, I've not seen anything like it within our community, especially from the Muslim community of this genre. And I thought that, as a comic book fan and a superhero movie lover, that's a passion of mine, and I wanted to really, create a project, where hopefully the youth can watch it and get inspired, seeing, a figure from their own community. And I thought I saw great potential. So it was an opportunity that I hope to take advantage of.
That's fantastic. So there's a few characters involved in the series, including yourself.
Yeah.
We saw a very cool shot of you just looking into down the road or wherever. So tell us about who these characters are and what's their involvement in this series. What do they do?
Well, I don't want to give away too much.
Of course.
But these characters sort of within the story come together, but their story sort of starts off separately, and they come to realize that they've got a gift, an ability that allows them to do things that's not possible. What happens is that they become hunted by this organization that really wants to keep a lid on people with with powers, these characters they sort of collide and sort of have to work together to take down this organization that sort of wants to control them.
Right, that's very interesting, and that all happens in Tower Hamlets. Is
that
the main? So it's kind of real then. So you're not coming up with a new town or a new city. This is all happening as if it's like a realistic situation. Then.
It is, yeah. It's I'm trying to shoot it in a way where it's got a realistic approach to it, but at the same time there's humor, tongue in cheek, sort of atmosphere to it. I'll try to keep it lively. And entertaining, hopefully. So that's the aim.
Brilliant stuff. I mean, we've seen in the trailer that there's quite an extensive use of visual effects as well.
Yeah.
So we're expecting to see lots of CGI in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. If you're doing a superhero show, you gotta have visual effects.
Definitely. So is that? Would you say that's going to be the main feature of your series? Is that the selling point, or would you say it's about the story as well, getting to know the characters? Or is it just a bit of both, really?
I think it's a combination of everything, really. The visual effects, the story. Hopefully, when they watch it, they'll be wowed by the visual effects. But at the same time, there is a story there, and I'm really trying to push forward with the story. Trying to engage the audience. So it's a combination of factors. So hopefully, when people see it, they like what they see.
Absolutely. So, have you faced any particular challenges and maybe problems with the production of Classified Freaks?
Plenty of problems.
What kind of problems have you faced?
Good problems. I mean, when you're shooting this type of project with a no budget, it can be extremely difficult.
So finance is definitely one of the
Yeah, I
major
mean,
problems.
we this primarily is no budget. I mean, we did put a little bit of money into the project, but primarily it's a no budget. And when you're working with, a cast, people might not be available at the same time. And we are primarily shooting outdoors, and that in itself can be quite difficult because there's things that are not within your control, like weather, the public. So that does present, logistically its own challenge. But if you overcome it, and then when you do get down to the nitty gritty of editing it, it's all worth it. And hopefully when people see it, hopefully they'll enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure they will. But looking at, like particularly, let's look at it from a South Asian perspective as well. Maybe if we look at a closer Bangladeshi perspective as well.
Yeah.
Would you say that, what's the reception been like so far in terms of how you've gone about production as well? Have they been quite welcoming towards it, or would you say that, have they looked at it and thought, could you be spending your time doing something else, or what's the reaction been to it for you?
In the beginning, I would say that it wasn't great. It was a bit problematic for my parents and my family because I think the notion within this industry is that they don't really see a sort of financial sustainability that you would get in other jobs, and they just didn't see any credibility.
They don't see it as a career.
Yeah, yeah, and it's in the beginning that was sort of the notion that they had, but I think the last few years I think that's drastically changed. With Ali Official, Corner Shop, all these people, public figures coming to light, and I sort of had to sort of start from scratch and sort of get support from friends rather than family. But I think eventually they started to come around the idea that this is something that can be pursued and can be taken seriously. You can actually make a career out of it. It's not impossible. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
It requires a lot of hard work, a lot of graft.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything requires hard work. But if you just hang in there and you believe in what you're doing, it's the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you all the best of that. I'm really looking forward to it. So, how many episodes are you going to be releasing then? So, is this like something that where you're expecting to see a few series out of it, or what's the plan at the moment?
The plan is that it's going to be 6 episodes, and the reason why I want to keep it to 6 episodes primarily is because for us, realistically, that's manageable. Each episode is going to be about 25 minutes plus,
Right, okay.
and the entirety of 6 episodes will make up season 1. And if it does well and people really like it and they want to see more of it, then I hope that we can launch season 2, and maybe that I probably might crowdfund that. So then there's because if I do crowdfund it, you've got season 1 as a foundation, and people can see that there's potential in it. So that's the hope, and I plan to launch it on YouTube, and then Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Social media is definitely the way to go forward then with promoting a web series, isn't it?
Absolutely, you've got to take advantage of it. It's there.
Brilliant. So when do you expect to release Classified Freaks then? When's that coming out? When's the first episode? Big premiere? Are we going to be expecting a big premiere?
Absolutely.
Lots of popcorn as well?
Yeah. From what you saw today, which was the sneak peek, we do plan to release a full trailer, which will hopefully give more of a breakdown of what this series is about. And then we're planning to launch the web series in the first episode around summer, hopefully August time. And then it will be 1 episode per month. I'm quite excited about that. We'll be gearing up towards that and marketing it, promoting it, and really putting our name out there.
Great stuff. So where can our viewers find out more about Classified Freaks? Where would you tell them to go? You said social media.
Yes, social media. You can find out more about Classified Freaks on our main channel, YouTube channel. So www.youtube.com/Classified Freaks Show. You can also follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Classified Freaks, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Classified Freaks. It's multi-platform, and we hope that you can view it in all possible platforms.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So do keep us posted. Those are the places where you need to go to find out more about Classified Freaks there. So let's go into your background. And now we're going to go into your personal origin story now. So I know there's plenty of origin stories to find out in Classified Freaks, but let's find out more about yourself. So tell us more about your background. And so obviously filmmaking, when did that all start then? How did you get into that?
It's funny because it's like I used to love comic books and movies and stuff like that. And I think first in the beginning, I started drawing comics and stuff like that, and that was my way into filmmaking initially. But because I never had the support, I never really pursued it actively. It was only when I got to when I started going to college, I did a media course, and that's when I was exposed to filmmaking and how the industry works. And then beyond that, I went to university and I studied animation, and so I had more of a background knowledge in visual effects and editing. And then that's how I became more actively involved in filmmaking, and from there on, it just sort of took off.
That's interesting because you studied multimedia at Tower Hamlets College, didn't you? So what was
I did.
involved in that course? I presume a lot of
Oh
art and
yeah,
visual effects there.
that for me that was it was a fun time. It was a really exciting course. I think it was a bit of everything. You did a bit of editing, you did art, you did a bit of music. So I think you were exposed to a lot of creative stuff. But I always felt my niche was filmmaking, and that's something I always wanted to do. Never had the confidence, but it was only when I went to university and I did animation, and I left that I sort of actively pursued it. And sort of since then, yeah, I never looked back.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let's say going back to the very first stages of when you got into filmmaking. Then, so what was the first camera you remember using? Because I remember when I first got into it, and I remember using a webcam,
Yeah,
and I couldn't move anywhere around with it because it was plugged
crazy.
into a USB port in the
Oh
computer,
man.
and that's all I could do. So, what was your first experience
I
like?
think for me, the first camera that I bought was a Sony Handycam. So it wasn't the highest, I think it was like 1280p. But for me, when I first bought that camera, it was like a big thing for me. Because it was my first paid, bought camera of my own. And yeah, just with a couple of friends, we just messed around. We just started making like short films. And from there on in, it just gave me the confidence to, make me realize that it's possible, and it's a lot of fun. I think that's important. You got to really enjoy what you're doing. If you don't, then it's hard to really sustain, sort of filmmaking.
Keeps that motivation going, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Really,
is
if you
because it
enjoy
is hard work, and I think a lot of people don't realize how much of hard work it is, and people do tend to give up. But if you stick at it and if you look at the end goal and the end product, it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. So sticking to education. So after you left Tower Hamlets College, you moved into a degree in animation. Was
I
that
did,
at the Ravensbourne College of Design and
Yeah,
Communication?
Ravensbourne College of Design and Communication. Now it's called Ravensbourne. I
Right.
studied I studied a 2-year foundation degree animation, and then after that I did a top-up year, which was a BA honors animation, and we did that at the newer campus. The campus was based in Kent, but then for my last year we relocated to O2 Greenwich, and that was a really good experience. I learned a lot during my time on
So
that
what was
course.
different to what you studied in this course compared to what you did at Tower Hamlets College?
I think the difference is that when I was studying at university, it was more focused. So I was studying computer visualization and animation. So purely, it was all animation related, a lot of editing. Whereas in college, you were branching off and doing different things like music, art, filmmaking. But when I was at university, it was more focused. And so, you really do, sort of build up your skill set when you get to university.
Brilliant. And clearly you really enjoyed doing both courses, would you say?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because that's obviously where you are now. You're still doing
Yeah,
filmmaking, and I suppose it's because of what you've learned from
yeah,
those
it is.
courses.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
take that forward.
classified freaks would not be possible if I didn't have the sort of the backdrop that I have in terms of studying animation and media. That made it a lot easier for me because otherwise you would have to sort of seek out visual effects artists, and that's not always easy. Trying to get people involved in the project.
So just going back to Classified Freaks then. So in terms of the post-production, so
Yeah.
what you've been doing so far, have you done all the editing yourself, or have you had a team to work with? And even when you go out with the film crew,
Yeah.
what's the sort of behind-the-scenes process behind that?
It's interesting. In terms of casting, there's a website that I go to called manly.com. It's a fantastic website. You can source out a lot of actors, filmmakers, and primarily I got most of my actors from that website. And then in terms of shooting, I shoot primarily with one camera. It's a Canon 600D camera. It's a middle range camera, and I shoot with that. And then I edit it myself. Usually we'd go out there, we'd shoot the stuff. I'd go back home, look at the raw footage, see what's working, what's not working, and then I'll start editing it to see if it's working or not. So that's primarily me doing it at home. And then the visual effects work sort of comes later. So I'm just trying to build the groundwork of trying to get the editing done first.
Great stuff. Now, we are coming towards the end of the show,
Yeah.
but in terms of giving advice to the youth, so particularly what you've done in filmmaking, what would you recommend to our younger viewers watching as well? Budding filmmakers, what would you tell them?
I just say, go out there and make films. Be it with your iPhone or with £100 camera. Just go out there and make films. Don't let anybody tell you that oh, you need a high tech equipment or you need a big budget to sort of make web series and stuff like that. No, you just go out there and you make projects. You make any type of show you want. I mean, the biggest thing that I would say is that you got to enjoy what you're doing. Because if you don't, then it won't reflect in your work. I mean, it won't look as good as you want it to. But yeah, the biggest advice I can give is that you just go out there and enjoy it. And nowadays, with technology, you can pretty much shoot anything and edit anything, even with your phone. So that's what I would advise.
Brilliant, because you set up your own company as a result of your filmmaking, didn't you?
Yeah.
So is that something that you'd recommend to budding filmmakers as well? If you get into that, maybe set up your own company and offer a few services.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if that's something that someone wants to pursue, then why not? You set up your own production company, and then you'd be surprised. The demand is out there a lot. People are looking for filmmakers to help them with wedding videos or commercial videos. So the possibilities are endless. So yeah, if someone wants to set up their own production company, then I say go for it.
Brilliant, that's fantastic. So really, it has been a real privilege having you on the show today, Shuhel. It's been really good having you. So thanks again for coming and joining us at You've Corner today. And just remember, viewers, you can check out the Classified Freak Show once it does hit the web. Once it is released, you'll find it on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram as well. Obviously, the main channel is youtube.com/Classified Freak Show.
Yeah, Classified Freak Show. So it'll be on YouTube and then on Facebook. So yeah, sharing both those social media platforms.
Fantastic. Well, we really look forward to watching that. So on that note, we've come to the end of the show. So once again, many thanks to Shuhel Ahmed for joining us at the Youth Corner today. And if you're a guest and you'd like to get in touch as well, do get in touch. The email address is youthcorner@lb24.tv. Until next time, I've been Ibrahim Rahman. It's goodbye for now.